I don't understand where they're going to come up with this insanity defense. I mean, this seems to be alcohol, related, and that's not a defense that you're drunk. All right, this individual, for whatever reason, it's premeditated. We don't know whether he used an accelerant at this point. Right. It's a good chance he probably did. Maybe used alcohol. We don't know. And we don't know if this woman was sleeping or what the circumstances are. It did happen rapidly, though. That's the thing. And I did see the video of him fanning with his shirt. I mean, it's ridiculous that somebody stands there. And then you have people in the background saying that's a person in there. It's a person in there. I mean, this is a horrific crime for anybody to see. And the fact that they're already setting up an insanity defense, leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, like we reported, his lawyer is asking for a psychiatric evaluation. Rafael, your reaction to what we saw happen play out on Sunday?
I mean, it really is one of the most gruesome crimes that I've ever, been a secondhand witness to. Just seeing the videos. I mean, I've been covering crime for about a decade now, and this is, tops the list in terms of sickest things that I've ever seen. But it's something that reflects a confluence of factors that people who have been worried about public safety in New York have been talking about for quite a while. Right? It's a combination of the homelessness crisis in the subways specifically. It's the disorder, the public intoxication, the public drinking, the public drug use, particularly on the subways. If any of that stuff had been policed, and we don't even know if this person paid the fare to get into the train yet, but if any of that stuff had been policed, it's possible that this could have been avoided. And of course, there's also the issue of the fact that he was a migrant, right? I mean, the migrant crisis is something that a lot of people, particularly on the right in New York City, have been talking about for many years now. It's someone who was deported. The porous border has to be addressed at some point.
Joe, there is surveillance video, like you and I just discussed, of this gruesome murder. The NYPD initially struggled to get the fire out. They didn't have fire extinguishers at first. Like you mentioned, there are bystanders on the platform. No one was able to save this woman. What do you make of that?
I mean, it's a very rapid progressing scene. And you see people that are looking and they can't go in because the car is engulfed. I mean, there's smoke in there, there's everything in there. And the police come, and I don't know, it's just, I'm not going to second guess anybody, but it's a tough scene to assess and just jump into if you don't have the proper things to respond with, like a fire extinguisher, like a large blanket or something to throw over. You don't know. And I most certainly would not second guess, though. But to Rafael's point, though, this is what we're faced with in New York City. This is somebody that was deported. So we did have information on this individual, but there's so many out there that we have nothing on. We have no identification for them whatsoever. And the only time you do get something is when they do commit a crime. But the fact that this individual was deported and was able to get back into the country, that's very troublesome. And how many of them are there out there right now?
Let me stick with you for a second, Joe, because like we mentioned, no bystanders intervened. I understand. I saw the video. I am with Caitlin here. No one should watch it. They should avoid it. But do you think this is a chilling effect from the Daniel Penny trial, where things would have been different if we all didn't see that case play out?
I mean, the fact that he was still there, whether anybody actually saw him do it, they may not have known that he was the one that did it. They may have just happened upon this. But the fact that, Daniel Penny's case did happen, of course people are going to be reluctant to get involved in anything, especially, when they see the outcome of the case and what he had to go through, but now civilly being involved, the whole nine. I don't see people getting involved to the degree they would have at one time.
Rafael, I read your op-ed. I urge our viewers to read it as well. You pointed out there have been 11 subway murders this year. That surpasses the high point of 10 in 2022. And since 2017, there has been a steep drop in people feeling safe on the subway. I've been hearing that more and more, with more than half saying they don't feel safe at night on subways. This happened early Sunday morning. Governor Kathy Hochul has dispatched National Guard troops. She did that a while ago. She even did a photo op just hours before this poor woman was set on fire. What more can the city do?
Well, the city can do three things. It can invest in more and more aggressive policing of the subways. It can and the state can revamp the criminal justice reforms that have gotten in the way of the enforcement efforts of the police, right? I know we're all tired of seeing people arrested for crimes, immediately released, and then back in the subway system to do it again. And the city needs to invest more resources, and with the state's help, in more inpatient psychiatric beds. I mean, all of those things, I think, will lead to fewer vulnerable people riding the subways, fewer dangerous people riding the subways, and it will give the citizens a sense of confidence that when they go down into the subway system, they're not on their own. They are safe, and there are people there who are actually in charge of this incredibly important public space, right? New York City is not New York City if it doesn't have a functioning subway system that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take people where they want to go. It's a precious commodity. We need to treat it that way.
Joe, critics are looking at this crime. They're saying there's been a very muted response from the mayor, Eric Adams, of course, and law enforcement. We all saw Adams walking on the helipad recently with apprehended CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione. Critics are wondering, where's his outrage for this crime?
There should be equal outrage for everything that happens like this. But, you know, Hannah, you have to understand something, too. Raphael's right. We need to get back to proactive policing. We need to get back to enforcing the quality of life crimes. This is a major part of our city, is our transit system. People come and go. And we need the police to get in there and become proactive. But they're reluctant to do so. They're only a reactive force now because of the handcuffs that are on them. All right? We have to get back to basic policing and let everybody see what the police are doing without having the ramifications of the city council watching every single move they make. This is ridiculous. Let's get back to policing.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.